Good evening. My name is Sean Ferfaro, and it is my pleasure to welcome you to the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics Convocation ceremony this evening. Before I tell you a little bit about the ceremony proceedings themselves, I would like you to take a moment to identify your closest exit so you're prepared in the unlikely event we need to evacuate the building for any reason. I will let you know that all the exits are marked by the green runner symbol. For the guests seated in the bleachers up there, there are exit doors along the running track, just down here where I'm indicating. They'll take you directly out to the east side of the building. There are 4 exits for you seated on the floor if you are in this half of the auditorium. If we need to evacuate, you'll go out that back door there, make your way to the back corner, out the door and up the stairs. It'll take you outside. For those of you on this side of the building, there are 3 exits for you, 2 in the back, 1 in the front, and that'll take you outside as well. Under no circumstances, if we need to evacuate, go that way. There are no doors. Should the need arise, the ushers will direct you to your nearest exit from the building. Now, back to convocation. The University of Guelph is honored by our graduates, and we take great pride in our convocation ceremony. In order to allow full attention on convocation, we would ask that you please silence your cell phones and all electronic devices. Our colleagues from Alumni Affairs are hosting a social media program developed especially for convocation. We would ask that you share your photos, your memories, and even your advice with our graduating students by joining us on social media and using the hashtag #GuelphGrad. The ceremonials used for conferring degrees have evolved over a millennium, and our gowns and hoods represent that history. In general, the gowns for the baccalaureate and the magisteriate degrees are black, and the color of the hood is different for each degree program. The doctorates here at the University of Guelph have a bright blue gown, and the honorary degrees are red. The University of Guelph crest that you can see on the screens beside me in your online program and also on the front of this podium right here, it represents our specific history. The emblems in the crest show links with the Royal City of Guelph through the white stallion above, the connection to liberal arts through the book, to the sciences through the Astrolabe, and our connection to abundance and agriculture through the cornucopia. The University of Guelph motto is Rerum cognoscere causis. It's a quote from Virgil, and it's variously translated to be either happy is the one who is able to ascertain the reason of things, or perhaps to know the meaning of things. The process of people into the hall is also influenced by ancient tradition. Music will herald the start of the procession of graduates, the students who are coming to graduate today. This will be followed by the arrival of the mace, which leads our platform party. The mace is a symbol of authority of the university, and it will be carried by the beadle. In medieval universities, the beadle was chosen by the instructor to work as an assistant. Today, the beadle is the ceremonial officer of Senate. Following the beadle and the mace is the Chancellor, the President, members of the administration and the honorees, fellows of the university, members of the board and Senate, and members of faculty and staff. The degrees will be conferred in the order that you see in your program. The degrees are separated by categories representing the specific degree that is being awarded within that college. We will begin with doctorates and magisteriates, followed by baccalaureate degrees. The name reader will present scholars to the Chancellor and President by degree category. As the name of each student is called, the beadle will then place the hood over the recipient's shoulders. The moment will be captured live, and technology willing, there will be a simultaneous live webcast of the event that allows family and friends to watch from a distance. The President will greet each student at center stage right here, and a photograph will be taken. Now, we understand the joy and excitement that accompany such an auspicious occasion as convocation, but we do ask, please, that you hold your applause until after each group of graduates has crossed the stage. I promise you, there will be a moment and an opportunity for truly thunderous applause before we leave tonight. Once all the degrees have been conferred and all the cheers have been cheered, the Chancellor will close the ceremony and a recessional will play. We would ask that you please remain standing during that recessional until the platform party and the graduates have processed out of the hall, and then please remain at your seat for a brief closing announcement about access to the reception that follows and a phased dismissal. I will come back up here and explain that we'll do a brief phased dismissal just to allow the graduates to get over to the reception hall unimpeded. It'll only keep you here an extra 2 or 3 minutes at the end, I promise. As well, we thank you in advance for your cooperation in remaining masked for the duration of the ceremony. Finally, may I be the first person to congratulate the graduands on their various successes and offer my congratulations to the family and friends who are here to support them and celebrate today. Welcome to Convocation at the University of Guelph. Please stand as you're able for the graduating class.
Ani, we give thanks to the Creator. We acknowledge the world around us and understand our place within it. We acknowledge and offer our respect to the many nations that walked this land in the past, the many nations that walk it today, and welcome you to the treaty lands and territory of the Mississaugas of the Anishinaabe. Sacred trust, we are the keepers of this land. She shelters and sustains us. Long after the flesh fails the spirit, we will care for this land. Our drums will be heard upon the wind, our voices in the rustle of the leaf. Our people have a sacred trust for the land, a trust no man may break, a trust that death cannot sever. We were here when you first stepped foot upon this land, and here we will remain long after the last step has disturbed your soil.
As an institution committed to learning, research, and to improving life, we are on a journey of transformative acts towards reconciliation. We acknowledge our role in strengthening relationships with First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples, and in upholding our responsibility as treaty partners and citizens. We know there is much work to do here and across Canada, and we are dedicated to taking these next steps together towards a brighter future. Please remain standing and join Effie Honeywell in the singing of our national anthem.
O Canada, our home and native land, true patriot love in all of us command. With glowing hearts we see thee rise, the true north strong and free. From far and wide, O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. God keep our land glorious and free. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee. O Canada, we stand on guard for thee.
We live in a country that values freedom, in a society that recognizes the dignity of every person. We live in a time of peace. We have been blessed. We have been given the opportunity to learn in a school that strives for excellence by people of wisdom and compassion. We have been blessed. We have been supported by family, accompanied by friends, and challenged by the world around us to grow through our experiences. Let us enter this present moment with grateful hearts, mindful of what we have received. For we have a future filled with hope. We have been truly blessed. Please be seated.
Good evening. My name is Marianne Chambers. I am a daughter of the Caribbean island of Jamaica. Almost 46 years ago, my husband Chris and I chose Canada to be our home, the place to raise our two young sons. I made a commitment then, as I do now, that we would be good for Canada and Canada would be good for us. I see that as consistent with the University of Guelph's commitment to improve life. The scope of that, the needs, and the opportunities are limitless. They are local and they are global. Consistent with the objects and purposes of the University of Guelph Act of 1964, being the intellectual, social, moral, and physical development of its members and the betterment of society, the university also applies a definition of sustainability adopted from one established in 1987 by the World Commission on Environment and Development, which states, sustainability means meeting the needs of today's generation without compromising the needs of future generations. At its broadest scope, it encompasses economy, society, and environment. Addressing climate change and food insecurity has become more important than ever, critical to the survival of this planet. Issues like global health, geopolitical instability, and cybersecurity are demonstrating clearly that geographical borders are man-made, easily breached, and increasingly irrelevant. We're designed to be social beings. We were not created to live in isolation of each other. It should not require a crisis for us to recognize that we are essential to the well-being of each other. Among you are researchers and innovators who have crucial roles to play in addressing these heavy issues. Challenges of such magnitude, with their broad implications and consequences, call for the attention of the brightest minds from every academic discipline. If we imagine the various ways that human beings, plant life, and animal life are impacted by these kinds of challenges, it becomes obvious that there are connections, collaborations, and partnerships required everywhere. Graduates, you are building upon a foundation established by high achievers from every college of this university. I hope you have a sense of what is possible. I want you to aspire to greatness. Most of all, I want you to make your lives matter, because our world needs you to do that. The world should be a better place because you have lived. As you embrace the pleasure and satisfaction of these moments and look with optimism and courage towards the next chapters of your lives, I wish you continued success. And I ask that you remember how you have gotten to this point. I am thinking not about how hard you worked, really, but about those who have cared so much about you and have often made significant sacrifices to enable you to dream big and hopefully to improve life for yourselves and for others. We accomplish very little on our own. So remain close to the University of Guelph. This will always be your alma mater. Be very proud of that. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Evie Adamate, and I have the privilege of being a faculty member in the Department of Economics and Finance in the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics. Just out of interest, how many of you actually already knew that? Yes, I figured you did. I taught almost all of them. So there, congratulations. The University of Guelph receives 2 Governor General's Silver Medals each year to award to 2 graduating students with the highest cumulative average in any undergraduate degree. And now I am looking for Daniela. Come on up. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you Daniela Anna Florea, one of the recipients of the university's Governor General Silver Academic Medal. Come stand here. I taught Daniela in the winter of 2020 when COVID-19 shut down in-person classes for our students. With the final exam no longer appropriate, I decided to assign a final report on bank risk instead. Daniela's report was of such professional quality that it could have been published by the bank she analyzed. It became the standard against which I now grade student reports. She received multiple awards for the highest grade in finance courses. They included the annual Fidelity Investments Award given to the top 4 female students in the first finance course that we offer. This aims to promote women in finance. She also received the Jenkinson Mergers and Acquisition Award, and finally the Wilson Family Scholarship for the Investments course. For finance courses that we do not have named awards, Daniela continued to earn the highest grade. These included the banking course that I mentioned, international finance, 99%, fundamentals of derivatives, 100%. In both my course and international finance, her final paper was nominated for the departmental 3,000 level writing prize. She also excelled in advanced economic theory courses, notably econometrics, 100%, advanced macroeconomics, 90%, and advanced microeconomics, which has a reputation of being relatively challenging, an A. She received the CSS Alumni Heritage Scholarship for the highest overall grade and was on the Dean's Honors List every semester. Her graduating average was 95.75%. I know. Her excellence was not confined to the classroom. As a co-op student, she earned outstanding grades from her employers, Kenna and Fidelity Investments, both of whom nominated her for the Co-op Student of the Year award. On her final work report, her manager wrote, "Excellent work from Daniela. She excels in analytical work, and this report is a superb balance between defining the technical details with the business impacts." They liked her so much that she is now a permanent employee with Fidelity Investments. Daniela's transcript tells a story of well-rounded, all-round excellence, and she is fully deserving of the Governor General's Silver Medal.
It gives me great pleasure to invite Dr. John Walsh to address Convocation.
Well, you're here at last. Congratulations. Chancellor, I think that's quite a good start, don't you? Chancellor, it is a privilege to be invited to address Convocation as you begin your first year as our 10th Chancellor of the University. Perhaps you would like to welcome our new Chancellor. As a professor here at Guelph over a number of years, I have to tell you, I have attended many convocations. This, however, is the first one that I've ever been asked to address convocation. I have to tell you that when that phone rings, it's quite the thing. When the voice on the other end says, and I would not dream of embarrassing the university person who calls, because her name is Claire Alexander. It's quite the thing, no matter how experienced you are or how many convocations you've been to, when the voice says, John, we would like to invite you to give the convocation address. Now, I don't know how you feel, but I tell you, it feels really good. It's just great. You're going to be excited. And I don't know what you would do, but I know what I did. The first thing you do is you call your family member. In my case, it's my daughter. Guess what? It's a crazy question, really, because she has no idea why I'm calling. But guess what? What? I've been asked to give a convocation address. That's great. I know. Now, my daughter is a particularly practical and a logical person. The following sentence stopped me kind of cold. She said, what are you going to say? Well, that slows you down a bit, let me tell you. So I honestly replied, well, you know, I haven't thought about that. To which she said, well, you should. This, of course, is the defining experience for anyone asked to give a convocation address. You feel absolutely great that your colleagues have asked you to do that in a convocation, even though you've been to many of them. And then you realize you have to say something. First stop, obviously, is YouTube. To find out what other people have said, well, I'll tell you right now, is a depressing exercise. Let's start with Hillary Clinton, shall we? It goes downhill from there. Pretty soon, you're waking up at 2 o'clock in the morning wondering what you're going to be saying. And at that point, you need a little bit of luck. And for me, luck struck. I attended a recent conference here at Lang and listened to a presentation by Perry Bellegarde. I'm sure many of you will know that name. Perry Bellegarde is the former National Chief of the Assembly of First Nations, and he was speaking about leadership. And as part of that presentation, he dealt with the importance of ceremony. Oh, thank heavens. I can talk about ceremony. I've been in hundreds of them. Ceremony is very important, and that's what I'm going to talk about for a minute or two. Ceremony marks events and transitions. It gives some architecture to our thoughts and our commitments. Ceremony has structure. Structure that transcends all kinds of cultures and societies and over time. Do you know what? There are very common elements. We have processions, special clothes, key symbols marking transitions and key words. And convocations and celebrations mark accomplishment and achievement. That's what we are doing here. We are marking achievement in a public way and a transition. Well, what accomplishments? Mastery of content, of course, because there is content to the structure of an academic program. And let me echo some words from our Chancellor's introduction and opening remarks. You are expected to work hard. It's not the only thing you're going to do, but you are going to work hard. It is the platform and the bedrock of future success. Working hard is what got you into the University of Guelph. Working hard is what meant that you can arrive here to graduate from the University of Guelph. And as you look down the future, whatever path you take, working hard will be the platform on which you will build. It is not enough. You also have to be able to work with others in teams. You are business graduates. How many times you may or may not have complained about group work, I don't know. But I'll tell you, it's a skill. It's a skill that is learned through trial and error. And if you should be better at it now than when you started, that is to use the language of today, the transferable skill that employers and other organizations to which you will commit yourselves to make a difference rely on. You're going to work hard, but few things are achieved on your own. An ability and a skill to work with others to achieve objectives that are meaningful will be key to your success. And there's a third thing that you will need. You will need to enjoy what you are doing. That is not simply a throwaway or an add-on to life. You will set priorities. You will need simply to have fun and enjoy what you do, because there will be ups and downs. And enjoyment of what you do and how you commit your time will be the sustenance that will take you through the low points. And if you're invited to give a convocation address, make you feel good as well. So let me say that in the last few minutes, I have managed to welcome our 10th Chancellor. I'm really delighted to be able to do that. I have answered my daughter's question, what are you going to talk about? I'm going to talk about ceremony and why it is important and why you're here and how to mark accomplishment. I've tried to answer the question, what are the accomplishments that we really, really want to mark? And I have asked you to turn to those who helped you to get here. Again, I steal shamelessly from other people's ideas. They're the people who sustained you. You, in turn, will sustain others. Chancellor, it is a great honor to be able to address Convocation, despite the fact I have attended many. Best wishes, good luck, and thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Walsh, for the lightheartedness and the substance. Very well done. My name is Ben Bradshaw, and I have the honor of serving as the Assistant Vice President for Graduate Studies at the University of Guelph. Graduands, now is the time you've been waiting for. Can I please ask you to rise? Madam Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you these scholars who have fulfilled the statutory requirements laid down by the Senate of the University of Guelph, that they may be admitted to their various and several degrees.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I hereby accept you for admission to your various and several degrees with all the rights, privileges, and obligations
appertain in thereto.
Thank you. Will members of the graduating class please be seated?
Hello, everyone. My name is Audrey Jamal, and I'm so pleased to be here today with all of you in person to celebrate. I'm the Assistant Dean of Strategic Partnerships and Societal Impact at the Gordon S. Laing School of Business and Economics. At Laing, we're committed to developing leaders for a sustainable world, and we do that by promoting active learning, generating research with impact, and engaging with communities locally and around the world. At Laing, we believe that business can truly be a force for good. In 2021, Laing achieved the prestigious AACSB accreditation, joining a distinguished group of business schools around the world. This accreditation is an acknowledgement of Laing's deep commitment to sustainability, ethical business practices, equity, community engagement, and entrepreneurship. At Laing, our students learn strategies to create positive change in their careers and in their communities. This means that you graduate as leaders with a sense of purpose. And you know, better than most, that the challenges this world is facing requires leaders with diverse skills who can work across a range of disciplines. In addition to deep disciplinary excellence across our undergraduate, graduate, and executive programs, Laing students learn from accomplished research faculty and industry leaders. We also strive to ensure that each student benefits from experiences outside of the classroom, from cooperative education to entrepreneurship training in the John F. Wood Center for Business and Student Enterprise. Laing students graduate ready to launch careers with impact. Today, we are so pleased to welcome you to the strong and growing Laing alumni family. We look forward to hearing about your future successes. Now, this is your moment. I'm going to ask you to please hold applause until after each group of graduates has been conferred. Madam Chancellor, I have the honor to present to you the scholars from the Gordon S. Laing School of Business and Economics, that they be admitted to their various and several degrees.
We will begin with the doctoral degrees. Graduating with the degree of Doctor of Philosophy from the Gordon S. Laing School of Business and Economics, Zara Bojani. Rui Feng Liu.
Congratulations, Dr. Liu. I think we should all have a photo. So you should be there and you'll be right here. There we go. Don't block the Chancellor. There we go. Excellent.
Aisha Mohammed.
Congratulations, Dr. Hassan. Well done. Such a remarkable achievement. Congratulations.
Please join me in congratulating all of our doctoral graduates from the Gordon S. Laing School of Business and Economics. We'll move on to our magisteriate degrees momentarily. Graduating with the degree of Master of Arts from the Gordon S. Laing School of Business and Economics, Esther Odura Dwamina. Pamela Iriogbe. Aisha Isahaku. Shukman Ing. Graduating with the degree of Master of Arts Leadership from the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics, Felicia Arsenault. Brody Owen Barrick. Corrine Elaine Bennett Martin. Mohammed Shabaro. Kathy Chia. Sabrina Lucy DiGiacomo. Nicola Alana Edwards. Rochelle Lynn Hall. Charlene Cheryl Hargreaves. Stephanie Lynn Valenzuela Yuhash. Beatrice Esther Kozlowski. Shan Yoon Kuo. Etienne Lefebvre. Marnie Elissa Lofsky. Jennifer Catherine McCluskey. Zaheen Nanji. Diane Polegi Alot. Victoria Lee Stevenson. Dawn Michelle Sweeney. Shanice Lindsay Ward. Terry Wayne Lewis Wiley. Graduating with the degree of Master of Business Administration, Lauren Andrews. Graduating with the degree of Master of Science, Mira Rebecca Enriquez. Kianla Lee. Xiaochen Pan. Jackson Cushing Prodger. Emily Shannon Robinson.
Okay, yeah. Gotcha, sorry. I'm nervous.
No wonder, you big achievement.
Yeah, thank you so much. Cheers.
Zuichu Wang. Please join me in congratulating all of our magisteriate graduates from the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics. On to our baccalaureate degrees, graduating from the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics with the degree of Bachelor of Commerce. Yeva Adamova. Basil Al-Harash. Brandon Daniel Arujo. Michael Atienza. Sehar Azam with distinction. Bradley Thomas Babstock. Kaylin Rose Becker. Haley Lee Hunter Berry with distinction. Haley's also receiving a second degree, a Bachelor of Arts General. Dave Boss with distinction. Mateo Rain Bauer. Parambir Kaur Brar. Zachary Michael Brody. Connor Isaac Buchanan. Jack Patterson Birdie. Noah William Burrell with distinction. Emma Marie Caligari. Andrea Victoria Castro with distinction. Emily Chicanti. Madeline J. Clark with distinction. Caitlin Jessica Cortina with distinction. Jennifer Victoria Crocker with distinction. Matthew Tomas Svitak. Elmira Garcia Daludado. Jason Alexander De Leon. Marcello Orlando Denuzzo. Michaela Nicole Dirienko with distinction. Daniel Dombrady. Jared Forbes Edward Duthie. Ron Lior Elent. Giorgio Elkas. Sarah Farkas. Cole William Trevor Farby. Jack Donald Ferguson. Daniela Anna Maria Floria with distinction. Jessica Forst. Alexa Paris Hopkins Ford with distinction. Zachary George Friesen. Lauren Fulton with distinction. Nicole Kate Jenna. Hayden Lynn Glancy. John Benjamin Greaves with distinction. Phoebe Green with distinction. Quinn Megan Haggerty. Andrew James Hanukkah. Patrick Conrad Hazen. Darian James Hurst with distinction. Imran Hussein. Abigail Jordan Hum with distinction. Jasmine Taylor Ing. Ethan Irwin. Adam Benjamin Israel with distinction. Maxwell Stephen Johnston with distinction. Baldeep Cambo. Jessica Deanna Keller with distinction. Cameron Kerr with distinction. Samad Ali Khan. Krista Kyriakakis. Ryan Landreville. Mitchell Lefebvre. Kaylee Levelly Connolly with distinction. Elizaveta Litke. Andrew John Malcolm. Annette Mina Marbella with distinction. Zachary Kent McInall. James Frederick Rex McLean. Jared Alexander McClendon. Logan Donald McNabb. Anastasia Mikic. Samantha Josephine Moffett. Natalie Claire Moretti with distinction. Maxwell Mungar. Eliza Mustafa. Jordan Stephen Adam Murray. Thaisa Misakowick. Christina Nadalin. Duk Nguyen with distinction. Emily Rebecca Niven with distinction. Rosanna Nuseri with distinction. Lindsay Aaron O'Brien with distinction. Robert Scott O'Brien. Matthew David Paddock. Jaden Paul Parisi. Liam Patrick Pastink. Jake Alexander Patinios with distinction. Leah Clarice Piovison. Colin Russell Adam Ray. Jacob Edward Prosek. Evan Andrew Reed. Mitchell Riddell with distinction. Kyle David Roden. Jenna Danielle Roland Mills with distinction. Nicholas Keith Sacco. Bakhtawar Sadakat. Karsten Edward Saft. Hassan Saqib with distinction. Abhinav Sharma. Jay Chander Sharma. Sarah Crofton Skeet with distinction. Dua Sohail with distinction. Stephen Nicholas Soteroff. Ryan Sean Sparks. Luca Tadic with distinction.
Thank you very much.
Sharanya Tiwari with distinction. Vahe Tutikian. Monica Tran. Cameron James Tyndall with distinction. John Henry Venema. Matthew Vihant. Sabrina Anna Elizabeth Volkers. Luka Vulicevic with distinction. Tori Nicole Wakeford with distinction. Teresa Imelda Walsh. Sophie Louise Callahan Warlow. Paige Victoria Westerman with distinction. Ryan John Whalen with distinction. Jordan Patrick Wilson. Sophia Yanishevsky. Krankcha Karen Zeldenrick. Ao Chun Fung with distinction. Isaac Allen Jack Hamilton. Uriel Kalenga. Jue Lin. Jiang Liu. Tianyi Min. Chase Anthony Nelson. Jack Duffy Otto with distinction.
Thank you so much.
Congratulations with distinction. Hard work on that.
Bolong Wu.
Well done.
Hui Yi Wu. Yuan Ying. Shu Zhu. Please join me in congratulating all our baccalaureate graduates. And at the beginning, I promised there would be a moment for truly thunderous applause. This is that moment.
It's wonderful to be together in person. However, there are some who have been unable to join us today. So, Madam Chancellor, I would ask you to confer the various and several degrees on the graduates listed in the program but unable to be present at this ceremony.
By virtue of the authority vested in me and in the University of Guelph, I confer the various and several degrees in absentia on the graduates not present.
Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Charlotte Yates. I'm the President and Vice Chancellor of the University of Guelph. And I'm so delighted to be joining you this evening, and it is so special for us to be together in person. The 2022 graduates of the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics is here for a wonderful celebration. It's an opportunity for us to celebrate you, but also for you to celebrate yourselves, to be proud of what you've achieved, and to be proud of your friends who've also achieved so much. And it's a time for you to be thankful. All the people who are here, there are many who are not here, who supported you through this time of study. This time of your success was built with the support of others. So I think you also want to give thanks to them for what you've achieved now, and then as you move forward to your next steps. This is my first official year as President and Vice Chancellor of the university. And of course, we've been 3 years without a live convocation, so this is a very, very special moment to us all. And it's rewarding for me because as I listen to your accomplishments, I watch, believe it or not, I walk the halls and see your pitches. I hear about you from your professors, and you're all doing such great work. So I want to say how rich and wonderful it is to learn about your relationships, your friendships, your accomplishments. And those bonds that you've created with faculty, it might be a special staff, or each other, a roommate. University is about those connections and relationships. It's not just what we learn in the classroom. That's important, but it's also important, those relationships, those connections. And they will serve you as you move forward to the next step of your life, in your career, to become better citizens, and to make an impact on the world around us. This is what we're celebrating today. Your achievements so far, but also what you have to look forward to. It's an exciting time, and a little daunting. I seem to remember many years ago when I graduated, it was a little scary as well. It's been comfortable. You've known what you've been doing for the last 4 years, and suddenly you're launching into a new phase of life. It's exciting and scary. I want to say a special congratulations to Daniela Floria on your Governor General's Silver Medal. This award is indicative of your incredible hard work at the Gordon S. Lang School of Business, and congratulations. So, I have a quote for you. Work hard, don't be afraid to take risks, and be the one leading change, not following it. This quote comes from Gordon Lang, the namesake of the Gordon S. Lang School of Business and Economics. And it epitomizes the ethos of the Lang School of Business, and is one that I hope will guide you in your next steps. And I think when I arrived here, I arrived at Guelph, University of Guelph, about 6 years ago. And I knew many things about the University of Guelph. At least I thought I knew a lot of things. I knew we had a great vet school. I knew we were really, really well known for our student experience, for our celebrated faculty who cared so much about teaching. And yet, I was still missing a piece of the puzzle. And now, over the last year or two, I've had to reflect and think, what is that? And there is a special genius about the University of Guelph that makes us different from other universities. A certain magic that I've been trying to understand, and I think I'm beginning to. Part of it rests with you. All of you are part of that genius. And why is that? And what do we do to try and bring that genius to life? Part of it is we try really hard to invest, and we believe in the transformative value of your education. It's transformative in terms of who you are as a person, what you've learned, but also in helping you pave the way to success. We've really emphasized collaboration, and I think Dr. Walsh made a little joke, which we've all groaned at the number of team assignments we've had to do, but nonetheless, that collaboration is key, and it's something that Guelph does really, really well. The other thing we do at the University of Guelph is we turn knowledge into action. Whether it be business innovations, whether it be new policies or new financial tools, our specialty is turning knowledge into action. And finally, we build a culture and community in which we thrive and have some joy in work, play, and study. That's the genius of the University of Guelph. And it's all about trying to improve life. We try to improve your life, but you also improve ours. And we improve the life of everyone around us, or at least that should be our goal. And of course, there is a special asterisk on the Lang School of Business, and for many of our visitors, maybe they're not as aware of this, but I know our students are, and that is there is a commitment for business as a force for good. And that makes us stand out from the other business schools. And I hope that what you've learned, what you've been taught, prepares you to enter the next phase of your life with the experience, knowledge, and confidence to successfully translate what you've learned into business for good alongside good business. So the two go well hand in hand. And of course, everything about our approach these last couple of years has been put to a test. I can't go by this address without acknowledging you've had a very difficult last 2 years. It's been tough. You've had to be resilient. Some days it's been pretty, I think, sad for all of us. But also, I think you need to look and say, wow, I persevered. A lot of your faculty, they planned so carefully to try and make your experience as rich as possible in a digital world. And here you are. Your sitting here is proof of your success. Everyone in this room, everyone in the university knows that you have succeeded, and you've succeeded against incredible odds. And that you deserve to be commended. I think you deserve tremendous congratulations for what you've achieved. And so, in celebration of that, we prepared a little video for you called Moments. I'm going to ask you to look at the screen, and that video hopefully captures and also conveys to your family, friends here, what it was like to be on campus. A little complicated, sometimes quiet, but also some moments of joy. So over to the video.
I made it. You made it. We graduated, and we're here today in person to celebrate, to walk across the stage, and I'm grateful. I don't know if I always believed it would happen. Like, there's been moments of frustration and fear, in class, at home, lockdown after lockdown, disappointing moments. But there's been times of hope and connection too.
Now here we are, resilient and maybe a bit bruised, accomplished and definitely proud. We have our degrees and we have so much more.
We learned to be independent,
Adaptable,
tech savvy.
compassionate, and most of all, ready.
The University of Guelph has been our home for the past few years, on campus and online. It was our community. It was the place we endured the pandemic together, where we learned despite it all.
It's where we cheered and screamed on our fellow Griffins to victory, where we learned to embrace our differences and to support each other. We learned to excel, to become better versions of ourselves, and to improve life.
When we opened that acceptance letter so long ago, we had no idea what our university experience was going to be like. Today, we stand at a similar juncture, not knowing what the next few years will hold.
But today, we stand with the University of Guelph beside us, and we're better for it. Better prepared to take on what's next, the next challenge, next possibility, the next you.
Well done, grads. So this power of coming together is exemplified, I think, through the new Lang Plaza. And I hope the visitors have been able to pause and see this new center of activity. And it's a bit of a hub of the Lang School community. I've seen students studying there, catching up with friends, or there's a fountain, there's a fire, and when it was cold, people were there in sweaters with the fire trying to study, typical COVID. And it also is a sustainable project, 100% carbon neutral project, thanks to the planting of over 700 trees on campus last September. Lang students helped with that. That's sustainability. That's the commitment of the Lang students. This is such a tangible example of working to better our community and showcasing the Lang School as a force for good. So allow me to close with an invitation. As you leave here and begin to plot your next steps, maybe you've already got a job, maybe you're going on to more schooling, and you continue with your personal and professional lives, I invite you to stay connected to us. The University of Guelph that magic is partly, we're kind of like a big family. And graduates from the Lang School are all over the world. And let me assure you that when they know you're from Lang, they will lend you a hand, just as I hope you will lend a hand, and come back. Tell us what you're doing. Give your expertise and your experience to the students who will come behind you, many of whom have just started and look up to you as their role models. They want to see you back. They want to learn from you. So I would ask that you come back, stay connected to us, be in touch, and give us the benefit of your incredible success and your resilience. I want to say what a great pleasure it has been for me to share this graduation with you, and I know for all of us here, it's been an enormous pleasure. I want to thank all the family, friends, guests, but especially the graduates. Congratulations.
So as we enter the final stages of our convocation ceremony, I'll just let you know how the next few moments will go. In just a few moments, we're going to ask you all to rise for the procession to leave. That'll be the platform party that leaves first, accompanied by the bagpiper as they enter the auditorium the same way. After that, the grads will leave after the platform party. Traditionally, they would march out to the bagpiper as well. We're doing something a little different this year, and I think you'll like it. After that, there will be a phased dismissal. Again, I promise this will only take a couple of minutes. This is a smaller crowd than we normally have in here, so we'll be able to get you all out of here and towards the reception in about 2 to 3 minutes after the graduates leave. So I would just ask for your patience on that. So at this time, I would like to invite everyone to rise. And as is the tradition here at the University of Guelph, the final word on convocation comes from our Chancellor.
Convocation is dismissed.
So as I said, we're going to do things just a little different for our graduates. You see the platform party has all left to the usual convocation pageantry, but the last couple of years, the world has changed, and we think that convocation here at the University of Guelph should change a little bit as well. So we think our new graduates should go out in style. Come on, you can clap for them. Let's keep the beat for them.
That bitch o'clock, yeah, it's thick.